Hey guys, what's up? Hope lockdown's been going well. um, Before we start, what I want to do is I want to look at something that Matt read on day 3 about encouragements, which was from Ephesians 3. And what it basically says is, I pray that you, being rooted and firmly established in love, may be able to comprehend with all the saints what is the length and width, height and depth of God's love. And I was just thinking about this, and how better can we understand Christ's love than to look at what God promises us? And so I'm going to be looking at how we can pray out of God's promises. We're going to be looking at 2 main kinds of prayer in the way that I do this, which are prayers of thanksgiving and of supplication. A prayer of thanksgiving is, as it sounds, it's giving thanks for something. Supplication is probably a word that you've heard less often, but that's basically us asking God for something. And here, I'm going to be asking Him for 2 main things. The first one is the wisdom to understand His word and who He is. And the second one is the desire to live a life that glorifies Him. And so we're going to be asking Him for these 2 things and thanking Him for who He is throughout our prayer. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to look at Isaiah 40, verse 27 to 31. I'm sure this is a verse that many of you will know. It says, Jacob, why do you say, and Israel, why do you assert? My way is hidden from the Lord, and my claim is ignored by my God. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the whole earth. He never becomes faint or weary. There is no limit to His understanding. He gives strength to the faint and strengthens the powerless. Youths may become faint and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not become weary. They will walk and not grow faint. Yeah, Lord, I thank You that You give us these promises and that we can come to Your word and read them, Lord. I thank You that You are everlasting and that You did create the earth. I pray that you'll give me a better understanding of You, that I'll know how it's possible for something to be everlasting and to last forever, Lord. I thank You that You don't become faint or weary, God, that there's no limit to what You can understand, Lord. And I pray, give me a little bit of that understanding. Just let me touch on who You are, God. I thank You, Lord, that you give strength to the faint and You strengthen the powerless. I thank You that this is a promise that we can stand in, Lord, that when we feel that we are powerless and that we are faint, Lord, I thank You that actually that this is something that we can turn to and we can look at and we can know that You still love us. Lord, I know that I can become faint and weary on my own, and I may stumble and fall, Lord, but I thank You that You're there for me, Lord. Help me to turn to You and to rely on You, God. Lord, I thank You for this promise where You say that if we trust in You, then You'll renew our strength and we'll soar on wings like eagles, Lord. I thank You that actually that we can put our faith in You and You'll strengthen us, God. And I just pray, let me trust in You, God. Let me turn to You and trust in You. Lord, I thank You that You say that if we're running with You, we won't become weary, that if we're walking with You, we won't become faint, Lord. And I pray, help me to run the race for You, Lord. Help me to walk by Your side, God. Help me to turn to You, Lord. Thank You for who You are, God. Amen. Cool. So I hope that encouraged you a little bit. What I'm going to ask you to go do now is to look at Psalm 91 and pray through that in a similar way. And then if you have time, also do Psalm 23, because that's a really cool one. And just some tips. If you do get stuck in your prayer, don't be scared to just look down at the verse and just read a little bit of it into your prayer. And before you pray, it might be cool to get a better understanding of the verse by actually using some of the techniques that we've used previously. For example, the Swedish Bible study method, or as Josh said, the imperatives and indicatives. Just see what applies to the verse and see how you can better understand what God's telling you. So yeah, go look at Psalms 91 and 23, and I pray that God will bless the rest of your day.